we are generating a kind of field around us of protection and security, which we can do by generating a kind of intention to be gentle, to be welcoming, to care for whatever comes into the space around us. And that's kind of one way to understand what we're doing in metta or loving kindness practice. We're emanating a space of protection and security and love, which can all three come together very easily. And I'd like to propose that as we connect with the part of ourself that wishes to protect and to be able to offer security and love and gentleness, that when we have that established, and we'll take a little bit of time to do that, when we have that established, we're going to invite an image or a memory of ourselves in a moment in which we felt vulnerable. And if we pull up a memory that's too scary or too emotional, we can either decide that we want to work with it, or we can let it continue moving into the background and then bring forth another memory in which we also felt vulnerable, but maybe a little bit less vulnerable. So that's the basic idea of what we'll do, and we can start just by breathing, connecting with this precious, beautiful living body that we have. This base for all of the loving experiences we've generated. This collection of elements that we've received from the clouds and the goodness of the earth and the forests. That's now our body, full of this vital energy, full of strength. And as we settle into this body that we call ours, that has served us so beautifully in this lifetime, we can generate a kind of wish for everyone who has a body to have strength and health, to value their precious source of life. And we can just have this feeling of wishing well. Wishing well to anyone and everyone. Wishing well to the forests, wishing well to the rivers, wishing well to animals, wishing well to our loved ones, to our neighbors. Just breathing out good wishes. Emanating in all directions from this body that's come to us from others. Wishing out goodness, peace, and happiness. And as we start to feel that space growing around us of goodwill, of benevolent intentions, of love, we can fill that space with a slightly more vital energy in which we feel a sense of commitment or aspiration to offer protection and security to anyone who comes into our vicinity. And maybe we can feel that if there were any wild animals, any rabbits or deer who were crossing through our space, they would feel no fear. They might even approach us and wish to be close, feeling that protection and security. And in this space of protection and security, now we can connect with our own vulnerability, recollecting a moment in which we felt exposed or fragile or vulnerable. If the memory that comes up is overwhelming, we can let it fade into the background and pick a slightly less intense time. Maybe when we were a child watching other children play, but not finding a way to join in. Whatever memories we still hold in that soft place inside us. And we invite that person that we were in that moment to come into this protected and secure space, to sit right in front of us, facing us. Maybe they sit close enough to us that they can fully feel themselves under our protection. And as we breathe in and out, breathing the same air as they do, sharing the same field of love and security with them, with each exhalation, we can communicate to them our love, our strength, our commitment to care for them, to be with them. And we just can sit for a few moments communicating whatever it is that needs to be communicated or that wants to be communicated from the self that we are now, emanating protection and love, to the vulnerable self in front of us. That's also us. And if the intensity of the field of love and protection gets hazy, we can brighten it again with our good intentions, with our longing for safe spaces, with our determination to be able to offer safe spaces and be in safe spaces. We can take a moment to imagine or to gaze on the face of the person or memory of our own vulnerability. Imagine them softening as they recognize that they are completely protected in this place, in this moment. Maybe we imagine their tears drying on their cheeks. Their face smoothing as their fear and worry dissolves. And then we can express to them whatever commitment or words of protection we want to leave them with. Whatever we want them to know in those moments of vulnerability. And then, as an expression of our wish to care for them always, we can imagine that that person in front of us moves towards us as if to be embraced. And as we hold them in our arms, they dissolve back into us. And now, feeling the presence of our vulnerable self within us, now as one integrated self, how do we want to continue caring for that vulnerable self? How can we relate to ourselves in a way that acknowledges and honors and cares for that vulnerability? And that is a question we can hold alive in ourselves as we conclude the meditation session.